to another edition of the Late Night Feed with Ange and Rob, in, out, and about right here on Giant TV, joined in studio by two of Canada's best musicians, I have to say. Jack Syperek of the Trews, Dave Rave, Teenage Head. Now, collectively, you two have helped to pave that path of Canadian rock and roll music along the way. That's got to make you feel pretty proud.
Wow, when you put it that way.
We drove a paving truck all the way here. That's why it took a little long to get here.
How does it, I mean, you have to say, though, over the years, that pathway of musical mosaic, if you will, you've added to it and you've contributed to it, and it's got to be a proud Canadian, specifically Canadian thing for you guys.
Well, I think we both recognize it in each other, right?
Yeah.
When we met each other, we both have similar goals, and each band has its own. I recognize something in the Trews that remind me of what Teenage Head used to do, have done,
Just that raw energy.
Yeah, we hit it off like before I even knew your history, before I knew Dave's history. Like we wrote songs at our little house in Niagara Falls.
Yeah.
And just like we've been friends ever since. Like,
I say history is a byproduct of it. I think there's something you think later. When you're doing it, it's like we just were friends and we just like music and you're not doing it for those reasons. After you go, wow, that was sort of cool, really, like it's. So you're right. We didn't know each other. It was like that way. We just as good friends, really.
Yeah.
How was your time in Niagara Falls? That was what, about how many years ago was that?
That was. We moved there in 2001, before 9/11. So we were living in Buffalo with a friend who is also kind of calling himself our manager, and we called him that too. But, we were living on his floor and staying in Niagara Falls, coming across the border when it was really easy to cross the border.
Right, sure, it would have been easier.
And we found a paper that said this house was available for $700. We're like, I think we could afford that.
Good for you. Fantastic.
Anyway, Niagara Falls was a major. It was the first time that we ever lived somewhere officially outside of Nova Scotia. Like when we moved away from home and we were on our own, and we met a lot of good friends there, like a lot of really good people in Niagara Falls who are still friends to this day,
So you guys came to be friends through Jack's father, is that right? Is that the connection here?
I played in Halifax many times, and I would hear about his band as they were growing and playing around, Antigonish and that area. And then I remember Vic would always keep me posted. I would always say, how they doing? And so it was a nice thing. And so when we met, I wasn't strangers to what they were doing. I just was finally put a face to the name, right?
Yeah.
And it made total sense. So I went, oh God, yeah, that's right.
And that's got to be,
It was easy, really.
Yeah, it was funny. It was a funny story because like our mutual friend Mark Rogers from Niagara Falls.
Yes.
Who we had met that summer, like we moved there, and then Dave was hanging out in Niagara Falls, and he said, "Oh, you got to come meet this band. They just play all the time."
Yeah.
And sure enough, we're like jamming in our living room, and Dave Rave walks in. I'm like, "Oh, I think I've heard of you." Like,
this is them.
My dad was telling me about you years ago.
It's funny too because it was the first, like when I just got to meet Mark, got to know Mark the week before. So he was going to give me a tour of the bands around the falls.
Yeah, right.
Because I was living in New York at the time, so I was out of touch, And the first band he brings me, he goes, "This is this band. They work all the time. They practice 8 hours a day, and they play at night." And it was in the morning when I came and seen. Like it was 1 o'clock. It wasn't like it was pretty early. We had lunch. And
it was during the day.
These guys were
sure.
already playing, right?
Yeah.
Is that what it takes? Hard work? Is that it's got to be a big part of the recipe for success? The Canadian rock and roller. You got to have hard work.
Yeah, you got to be dedicated to what you're doing.
Yeah, right.
And one of our things was we were all determined, and especially our leader Colin was like, we're not getting day jobs. We're gonna survive off of this. We're gonna play music, and that's it. Like, so we would play music during the day, all day, writing songs, and then play gigs at night to make money to afford it. Right?
Yeah. Was that a hard choice, or was that a no-brainer for you?
Oh, it was a
It's gotta
no-brainer.
be it, yeah.
There was no second thought. It was like we did as much schooling as we needed to do.
The bare minimum is
And
what I need.
yeah, and we're like, okay, well, we have a van now. We can leave. Like,
Yeah, right.
and we left home and didn't really look back. Like, just kept playing music nonstop.
Let's talk about the music for a minute. 6th studio record, Civilian Airs. I like that. Tell me about the inspiration behind the title for that
The
record.
title, that was something that our guitar player John Angus, he saw when he was in California one time. It was the name of a thrift store.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and apparently it doesn't exist anymore. But he wrote it down. He was like, "That's a pretty cool
It's
word."
cool. I
Yeah.
love just looking at it, going, that looks fantastic. I love
Yeah.
that title.
And it was
can I-
it was after we even named the record and we had a song written. Then I think that was when he looked it up and he was like, "Oh, I even like the meaning of it." It was like some. It was like a civilian who gets money by ill-gotten means or something like that, and then makes makes a living off it or whatever. I was like,
and
"Yeah,
your
that kind of makes
connection to
sense.
Serena Ryder with that track. She was a co-writer on that one.
Oh yeah, she helped write that one. Yeah.
Yeah. Is there writing between the two of you? Is there a creative process
Yes.
brewing here?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, like we've written songs, a couple of tunes have made the Trews records. All like that
Yeah.
one.
On our second record, there was "I Can't Say"
Piano
that we
one.
wrote in our house in Niagara Falls.
Yeah.
It was like a lightning storm outside. I remember like I showed up like halfway through the song.
Yeah.
Him and John Angus and Colin and Sean were already writing, and I showed up halfway through, and we kind of finished it. But
great.
Added the most important part of the song, right?
The second
we were
half.
going here, and then
Well-
you went, "This is where we got to go."
well, interesting enough, it's the same bridge that's in Not Ready to Go.
Oh, really?
I put in.
Oh,
Really?
We
That's
used
interesting.
it's the exact same.
Oh, that's
thing,
cool.
yeah.
I like that.
Well, it works, right?
Yeah,
That's a
they
great
worked
one, too.
twice.
It did work. If
It
it's
works.
good.
It works once. It'll work twice, right?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
and Jack on I did an album called Live What You Know, and with a solo record, and Jack helped me on that record writing.
Yeah.
And I'm on, so over the years, like that one tune that was on the video, remember it was that sort of, You Sing, one of the ones that you sang, were the DVD record.
Oh yeah.
Remember that one?
Yeah.
But that one there, we
what the hell's
helped.
that
And
called?
the one that won I remember the one with the pink.
The pink chair or whatever.
Yeah, the pink chair.
Yeah, it turned into The World I Know,
The World I Know.
off Hope and Ruin.
It's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's
you know,
great.
experimenting and learning. And Jack's music is just flows from him. As a
Yeah.
matter of fact, one of the things I've always had to say with Jack, you gave me like 3 ideas that are amazing, but he probably got another 4 right going around. So it's like, come on, we can write 6 songs from these riffs you've given me. Like it's just endlessly flowing out of
That
Jack
must be
as a
just a
musician,
gift, right? To have that, just a non-stop creativity flowing through you.
I guess it's just it's not something that I really worked at. It was like I grew up listening to music not like all the time.
Yeah. What did you grow up on? What was in the house when you were young?
My mom had Patsy Cline and Bruce Springsteen and Paul Simon playing like pretty well nonstop, like driving around and a tape would end and then start again, and we just had the tape in the car,
Just to repeat.
Rhythm of
it
the
over.
Saints and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And my dad had a really large record collection that he would give me and my sister free reign when he would have us up at his house in Halifax. And he would have parties, but we had to have something to do. So he would be like, "Well, you guys can pick the music."
That's great. What a great job to be given, right? Yeah. What a way to learn, what you like and don't like by picking the records for the party.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we listened to a lot of Rolling Stones and Kinks and Police and my uncle turned me on to the Pixies and Frank
Great.
Black, and
Yeah.
when
Now,
I
interesting you
was
mentioned
young.
the Stones and Springsteen. You had a chance to open up for both of those acts.
Yeah,
that
I
must
know.
have been a surreal moment for you.
Yeah, absolutely. It was, yeah.
Clash too, man. I've heard Clash.
Oh yeah, the
Yeah,
Clash.
yeah.
That
Well,
was when I was about 19. That was when I picked up London Calling,
Nice.
and it took me a second to get into it. I was like, this is really like nothing I've ever heard
Yeah,
before.
right.
But then I fell in love, and
That's how it happens, right?
Yeah.
Brand new, and you love it all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's talk about the Canadian music scene, as you two are both a huge part of. How do you see it as it is right now? Is it going in the direction where it's going to be continued success? Is there something that it needs that it's lacking? How do you see it?
I would pass the one to Jack right now because you're like I have comments, but I'd like to hear what you think about it because you're right in the thick of it, man. Like I was
Right.
on the outskirts.
Well, I kind of feel like we're a little bit on the outskirts too. Like
Yeah, you're
we
the outskirts,
kind of
but
do
you're
what
more
we
inskirts
we
into
do
my
what we
outskirts.
do, and you know, like all these other bands that are around that are very very skilled and they're talented and thing is I don't really know what to say about it. Like
Yeah.
I like what we do and I like what they do and success is kind of a relative thing. Like, you know, I don't necessarily love everything that's successful, but
Well, it's the quality that we're looking for, that Canadian kind of edge to whatever's out there.
I
right?
think what both bands, like this Teenage Head and the Trews, and I think what they have in common is that both bands set the path for other bands. So, and I identified that right away. Like when Teenage Head played, there wasn't a Teenage Head in Canada. And when I saw the Trews play, even before they started doing, they were even the Trews, and they were still just picking covers and that. I went, there's nobody picking these covers right now. And I think that you meet a lot of people along the way who were influenced by them and influenced by us. You know, and some of the bands have gotten and of course, you know, in between, you have, like I know you guys were influenced by the hip and stuff like that, but whatever you guys did, you had another element that the hip didn't do. You know what I mean? A certain way. And so I think that when you're those kinds of bands, you see, you meet, when you're these kind of bands, you sort of realize that you have to just keep moving on, because that's your role is to keep moving on. And that's why you guys have always kept doing it. You've moved on. You haven't. You march into your own beat.
yeah,
Right.
yeah, and like what we take from what's currently happening, we just do our own thing with it, and we hope that our fans still love it, which they seem to, and we attract new people too, which has been happening in this last year. Our last record was kind of a bit of a departure, because like new members, new things that happen along the way. People like leave, people stick around.
Yeah,
you know,
it changes the dynamic, which would change
Yeah.
the product, right? Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we're always very fascinated with what you can do with music, like that. You don't have one formula that you work with, and hope that it works every time. Try to add new things into it and change your perspective a little bit and say like, oh, I think we could add this and see how it works within what we do and it makes it our own, and we're determined to go on for the rest of our lives.
Sure.
I think.
Is there a purpose in mind, though? I mean, whether it be like a political purpose, a social activism purpose, or standing behind an idea or a concept or a theory that you can put through your music somehow. I mean, you think about, I want to say the popularity, but the mental health right now is a large problem in society, and from a creative standpoint, would that assist or aid in some way for healing for people?
would
Music.
oh yes,
yeah,
absolutely. And if we can think of some way of incorporating that subject matter, sure, but yeah, more than anything, just to write a song that makes people feel good.
You
That's
just took it right out of my mouth. That's what I'm saying.
yeah, like not to make it too yeah, like I don't know if I have to.
Yeah, no, you're right. Because if you listen to say "Not Ready to Go," it's just fun to sing it, and you'll feel good when you leave.
Well, it's got an energy to it. Dude. It's got
Yeah.
that kind of ride, get up and get part of the movement. It's got
Well,
that
yeah,
vibe.
like sometimes music is meant to help you forget about your problems. You know, like as much as I love songs that make me feel sad and like songs that really zero in on a topic or a subject matter or something, a feeling. And I like when we do that too, but it has to happen organically. It's not like something that you set out to say like, I'm going to sing about this problem in the world. It's like, I think if it happens on its own, like
Any other way would sound contrived or put on somehow, right?
yeah, because it becomes very obvious when somebody's singing, unless they do it really well, then it's not going to work, right?
Right.
People will they'll shut it off like, no, that's too obvious. But if it really grabs you, it means that it happened from the heart.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Let's talk about hats for a moment, because I know that you are the hat guy in the Trews. And you've got a great hat on right there.
Thanks.
What kind of
So
hat
do
is
you.
that? Oh, thanks, man. This is a brand new hat for me.
I can see
Is it
it.
too small?
I was about to
No,
say,
no, it's not.
I was seeing one of my
That's
two
nice.
hatters right now. It's
Right,
pretty cool.
How many hats do you have?
Too many.
Too many. Do you have a room? A hat
No,
room?
it's just that I can't bring myself to throw anything out.
Well, it's that. If it's good, you keep it still, right?
Yeah.
Excellent. So we're going to meet up with Angela at Monty's Gastropub. We're going to have a great meal there. We're going to feed you guys.
Oh.
We're going to do something called musical improv. You've heard of regular improv before.
Yeah.
So we're going to challenge you to musical improv.
Oh, okay.
So
That's interesting.
we're going to kind of put you to the test a little bit.
Oh.
Is this like a playing music thing?
Playing music, absolutely. I
Okay.
think what we're going to do is we're going to grab...
Well, that's actually one of my favorite things to do.
Really? Well,
And
you
it-
hit on one then.
Well, it happens quite often when Dave's playing. I'll come out to see them, and he'll get me up on stage to play,
That's great.
Yeah.
and other musicians too. Like if I can, happen upon an open mic or just somebody I know who's playing them.
Yeah. So you
get
do
up.
go to open mics then, just as a
Oh,
casual
I love.
player.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite things.
Yeah, right.
We've
Get up
done,
and play with
the
other people.
Pogues at one time. We were in
Yeah.
London, Ontario.
Yeah.
When there was Robert Plant.
That's
remember?
right,
When
yeah.
we did that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Right.
music is a celebration.
Yeah.
It works on all so many levels, and I just believe it. I believe it heals naturally. I don't think people don't go, I'm going to see music because I'm going to be healed, because that's what the doctor does when you go to the doctor, right? But naturally, you go, if you look on Facebook, and I just saw ELO where they're playing in Toronto, and I could just see the joy in everybody's Facebook
Yeah.
posts. They're, they're having fun, you just see the whole process. But it's not just the show. It's preparing for the show, getting the tickets, getting friends together, having a meal, listening to the records as you get there,
Yeah.
again coming home and then listening to it again, and it's that's where the joy lies in. But if you said it was work, it wouldn't
Yeah.
take, it wouldn't be. That's why you do it
Yeah.
at home,
Yeah.
So we sort of look at it like, if you're singing Honky Tonk Woman in a bar and you're dancing, you're not thinking, oh, this is therapy.
Oh,
It's
and
just
yeah,
having a
right.
great
and sometimes it
time.
really catches you off guard too. Like
Yeah.
you show up and you're not expecting to be
happy.
yeah, or yeah, like I don't know what the word is, like elevated or
Yeah,
whatever,
yeah.
but
Right.
but it just happens and
He grabs you
you're
and does it. Yeah.
Thank God I went.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, we've all been there before. And I'm so glad I saw that show, or I'm so glad I decided to buy that record or hear that.
I was thinking of this one time we were in Montreal back in the 80s. I remember I went to, McGill College. We went to, and it was a reggae band playing. I thought, during the day, this is a normal place. But right now, this is like, we're in another reality.
Right.
So the same room, now it's with lights and everything
true.
changing. Something's happening right now that's beyond our regular consciousness, and you need it.
Yeah, it's like
Everybody-
a collective. Everybody's coming together
Right.
Yeah.
without even knowing they're or trying to. Yeah.
I love that. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the power of music, right?
Yeah, so I think
power
when
of
people see
performance.
Teenage Head or they see the Trews, they're not thinking that's why, but they're going because it triggers so many things inside them, right? Emotions.
In fact, one of my favorite bands to see is Teenage Head.
right.
Ah,
I've seen at least 6 shows or more
Nice.
since they started playing again.
yeah. I've yet to get out to a new show.
It's been fun. Yeah.
Find a schedule to get out there and see a show. There's a lot of opportunities on you guys are busy. Right?
One day,
Yeah.
But it's beautiful. Like it's a great experience, cathartic,
Yeah.
for all of us.
Mm-hmm.
And
Well, it's been great having you both here today. It's
Yeah.
a real pleasure. A real pleasure. Are you ready to eat? We'll go get some food, play some music. Yeah.
Sure.
Thanks for joining us here on the Late Night Feed with
Thank
Andrew
you.
Rob. In, out, and about right here on Giant TV. Stick around for more from Monty's.